Welcome everybody to the 32nd episode of SmashCenter. My name is PG Suar, and of course we're bringing you the latest in Smash Ultimate news, tournament coverage, controversies, and everything related pretty much to Smash Ultimate today here on the show. Things are going to be structured a little bit differently. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. If this is you watching on Twitch, awesome, you're in the chat, spam us. We're going to have live Q&A at the end like we always do. And also, if you're on YouTube, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so you can get the latest updates on anything Panda related, SmashCenter related, and ultimately, Ultimate related. Quick aside, last week for the Evo episode, there was a very interesting blunder in which the VOD was lost. I know, tough. If you're on Twitch, you're the only group to see it. The YouTube is, of course, not there. However, there is a solution that I think we found. And although it won't be the original VOD, we're going to try and have that as like a double feature tomorrow when this episode goes up, the SmashCon edition. That'll be a little different and maybe something that will ideally work for future episodes since we involved a new person and potentially some voiceover. So we'll take a look at how that looks today for anyone who hasn't seen this show before. Welcome. This is PG Stats' SmashCenter, powered by Panda Global, of course. Coney's the co-host, I'm the host, or we're both co-hosts, we're equal. But today we're going to do things also a little differently as well, since we're a little short on time and we want to make sure this episode goes out before the craziness of the week comes at full force, basically, and our schedules get all jumbled up. We're going to go ahead and go directly into the topics of today's show. And we're going to do that immediately with Coney. So joining us now from Maryland, from the MDVA region, we have Coney. Coney, of course, being the very seasoned commentator and one of the casters for Top 8 and a part of Blast Zone. Coney, now that we can hear you, how's everything been? How are you reeling from SmashCon?
Hi, everybody. I am utterly drained. I just working 3 events back to back to back while doing the full-time job thing in between. I'm like pulling red eyes in between. I'm just like, my next event isn't until mid-September. So I am taking a long break of just
no shine, right?
Not going to shine. No, I'm
no
not
shine
doing
for me
anything
either
for a little while. So my next thing is Glitch, which is September, second week in September. So I'm gonna be a little bit underground for a little bit. Yeah.
Awesome. So
I'm beat.
Yeah, I can imagine. Traveling is very hard, not only as a competitor, but also as someone behind the scenes and as a caster. So I totally respect that. Yeah. Blast Zone, though, did Top 8 for SmashCon. We'll talk a little bit about that in the latter half of the show. But overall, though, now that we have SmashCon and Evo happening, the two super big S tiers that, in fact, for those who are unaware, maxed out the points on the tournament tier system, meaning that they are worth the maximum amount on the grading scale. The standard points for achieving S tier status is 2,400. Both events, Evo and SmashCon, scored 4,800. So double the minimum to make S tier and the max that we record. Some people looked at it a little deeper. Evo had more of the top 50 present. However, both events, I mean, it's so staggering at that point, you're splitting hairs, like they're worth the most. However, we do have Shine in a couple weekends up in Worcester, not Worcester, or Worcester. How do you say it? Worcester, Worcester, Massachusetts.
Worcester,
yeah. And Shine classically being a pretty, I wouldn't call it homegrown Coney, but or maybe I would. It started by Shi Dang, the whole Big Blue team, and now it's a pretty regular legacy major within the past 3 years, since it started in 2016, I believe. But getting directly into the show, we're going to talk exclusively about SmashCon, what happened, what it was like. We're also going to talk mostly about the structure of the event starting up here in the beginning part of the show. For people who haven't gone before, Coney, how would you describe SmashCon to someone who just like doesn't even know what it is, whether they're from the FGC or just from another esport entirely? What does SmashCon mean to the average layman?
I mean, I think at its core, it's just kind of a celebration of all things Smash. The idea is that it's less of just like a tournament and more, there's tons of stuff to do. There's every Smash game is there. have a lot of panels, side stuff, music going on all the time, costume contests, vendors. I mean, there's indie games. There's a billion different things, and the idea is to just really get. I kind of use it as a contrast to, and the one I always use is the Big House. Not to say the Big House isn't fun or doesn't have stuff to do, but Big House is very much a prestigious tournament with a long history. SmashCon is more of a casual. I mean, there's still top level competition there, but you can go 0-2 and still have a million fun things to do. It came out around that time where we were desperately in need for stuff like that. And
2016 is the first one, I believe.
2016, I think it was 15, because
it's like the fifth one.
Because we've had 4. So
4.
15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay.
Yeah, and it very much did not start as quote unquote the S tier event that we know it as today. I like that you contrasted Big House. I'd put in Genesis there as well. But I think SmashCon was the first event to really take the tournament experience and turn it into an event experience, right?
Yeah, I think it very much is kind of aligned with Smash and Splash, which is why those are 2 of my favorite events, because it really does offer something to people beyond just the top level of competition. Genesis is in a very good spot because it's at the beginning of the year where a lot of people are hungry, and then it was the first major to have Ultimate. So I think no matter what, it's going to have a lot of that. But I do think that Smash and Splash and SmashCon's sort of prominence and their sort of meteoric rise, they didn't take a whole bunch of events to get big. It just took 1 or 2. I think it's kind of a testament to what people are looking for in an event. SmashCon's amazing every single year.
Yeah.
Smash and Splash has had some problems, but I think SmashCon has consistently been great.
Yeah, I think Smash and Splash at this point is seen as, along with Frostbite, trying to innovate the tournament scene. Frostbite,
more of an anomaly.
Yeah, Frostbite really started with the whole side event gig, making sure that there's waterfall brackets and those events that you can put dollar brackets, find 8 people, pay $1, you got a little bracket, some of it with Pokeballs, some of it with items, others just as an actual bracket. By and large, for people who haven't been to a tournament before, in the first few hours, half of the tournament is eliminated. If you have 1,000 people competing, 512 people pretty much due to the bracket structure. 5, 12, 10, 24, etc. They are out. There's no redemption. There's no, you're just out. And if you have people to support, that's cool. But we've all done before, watching someone else play a video game is only exciting for so long. And then that's kind of it. So a lot of these events have stepped up the, not necessarily pop fodder or pop monsters experience, but just the overall experience. I mean, as you see here, even in the N64 combo contest, Super Boom Fan, critically acclaimed N64 player, same thing with HBox for Melee, same thing for ESAM for Ultimate and Smash 4 and Brawl. These players become part of the events themselves too. We also had the Smashies, which we're going to talk about in a second, but SmashCon by and large has revolutionized what it means to go to an event, and it has, I believe, the most expansive vendor section this year. I think it was anywhere between 5 and 6 aisles, apart from the gaming gens and the controller chaoses. They have all sorts of knickknacks from people in and around the region. There's also the typical staple vendors. I mean, even Okami was there making the custom amiibos, little T-Fox making the custom controllers. So even apart from that, it's just incredible to be at and incredible to go to. I know registration can put a lot of people off for travel, but this is an event where literally from Thursday, because it's also a 4-day event, which is uncommon. Most events are 3, if not 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. Literally every day there's something to do.
Yeah.
So talking about some of the events, Smashies this year, Coney, you are now the 3rd time host for it. Don't think that's changing anytime soon.
Yeah.
What did it mean for you this year to be a part of it? Because I think we've started to create something that's a little insane, all things considered. It's kind of the thing that people look forward to within SmashCon now. A lot of people didn't know what it was even when they were winning Smashies. But can you tell us a little bit about what the Smashies really mean?
Sure. So for anybody that doesn't know, Smashies is basically a Smash Awards show where we kind of look back and honor some stuff that happened throughout the year. It's not very serious. I mean, like it's
oh, it's serious.
It's very tongue in cheek, and it's designed that way. So like the idea is just to sort of highlight some moments over the past year and some players that may have earned some recognition. There's a good number of people that show up for it more and more every year. The first year was like empty because like what the hell is this? Second year was a little bit better. This year was a little bit better. I think it'll continue doing that. But I do worry that it's like it's in that prime time spot where it's like 10 p.m. on a Saturday, so like everybody wants to hang out. Like that's the night to hang out, you know. Mm-hmm. So I think a lot of people kind of would rather do that, which is fine. But Smashies is really cool. Always have a blast hosting it every year. 3-time commentary moment champ.
It's not rigged at all.
Yeah, if we want to talk about the GOAT, you know, I'm not part of the nominations or the panel process. I'm just very good. So
yeah.
I don't know.
So go on.
No, but yeah, it's really fun. It's great. I feel like we should like figure out the voting and nomination process though, because I feel like a lot of people are very confused by that whole thing.
Yeah, so, you know, Smashies, basically the Smash Grammys, we took pretty much like the concept of like best XYZ, best pop-off, best, doubles team. We do it by game. This year we featured Ultimate, Melee, and 64. No Brawl, no Smash 4, of course, no PM. But it's something where nominations are live pretty much weeks leading up to SmashCon, and then people are voting the name or the moment, and they put a link, right? Pretty much highlighting what it is that should win. And so I'm personally the person, one of like the producers for the Smashies, and also the talent coordinator and the floor manager. A lot of different hats, but this year we got to feature a lot of cool things, a lot of cool moments. The Sakurai Award, which started last year, and D1 won the first one. Gimmer, as a lot of you saw this year, won the second one. It's like the Lifetime Achievement, like a Vanguard Award. And by and large, it's turned into something that's now kind of iconic, and it looks the best it ever has this year. The band was amazing. The shots were amazing. SmashCon this year did a 360 stage, as you all saw on stream, as opposed to the typical, like stage to crowd layout, and that was insane.
That's super cool.
Yeah, we had 20 people, or almost more, because there were a bunch of jump-ins like Alfred at the end, in case you missed it. And I'll post the link to the Smashies actually in chat in case you missed it or you didn't know. It's like something that was archived. VGBC took everything and put it on YouTube. All the side events, the Combo 64, everything. And so, yeah, next year I think we're going to really ramp up what nominations there are. I think we're going to get rid of like game categories and do more overall superlatives. Like Coney said before, best commentary moment, like he and TK won for the ESAM Samsora, like, what was it, 4-10 or 10-4. Yeah. And so there's like overarching game categories, and then of course like the single game category. So we'll ramp it up, but like he said as well, it's like the last event of Saturday night. So as you'll see in the awards show, like D1 and I can't remember who they accepted for best doubles team, Ultimate, Max for Dark Wizzy and Salem, and pretty much they pretended to be them like cheekily, and it was funny and it was cool. So with that being said, Smashy is definitely another event to check out. It's very unique because this is never something I think you'll see at Genesis or Big House or the big legacy events. But yeah, it pretty much started like that. Small idea, now third year running, and people are really happy to like be winning these Smashes. I know Gimmer like held that trophy pretty much on his desk while he was working in the entire weekend, and TK I guess has the trophy in his possession, and not you, Coney, right?
Yeah, he took it, which is fine. I've got 2 more. So, okay.
Yeah, the 3-time. So yeah, that's pretty much what happened as far as the side events go. I cannot stress enough, and Coney can back it up, but if you have that weekend in August or potentially late July, depending on when the next SmashCon will be, make sure that you make it a priority event, because all weekend, not only were people were playing friendlies actually during the Smashes. People were playing friendlies at all times. I know that numbers are always kind of like hard, but they definitely have as many setups as they can, and I think the event's getting bigger and bigger each year. There's still open space, but it's not a crowded event by any means, like sometimes like how Genesis is, or there's really high density events. But let's talk about now the surprises of the event. I know that it being an S tier, it being a new game, we saw a lot of pop-offs, a lot of moments that we weren't expecting. Any that stood out to you, Coney, that you want to bring up first? Because like I definitely have a couple that I want to touch on.
Let me just note that Japan.
Oh,
okay. If we're gonna make this a meme, where were they, guys? Huh? You guys coming to me every goddamn week? What happened this week, huh? Nothing happened. Louis Money. What happened there? Japan's so good. None in top 8. Get the hell out of here. Ridiculous. You guys get the Evo buff, and everybody's like, "Oh, Cody was wrong." Shut the hell up. Only kept it good, and he's a villager. So anyway, shut up, chat. And
Proto Bantam got kidney stone, so I guess the Coney curse begins over Japan.
And Zachary went last hit with Leo, so that was like, oof. You know what's really funny is that so Shuton like decimated Light, right? Like not close. And I talked to Light after. I was like, "What happened?" He said, "Just I don't know if I can do this. Like it's like really hard. I didn't know what to do. He knows that matchup so well." And then Louis Money played him, and Louis Money 3-0'd him. So I was like, "Wait, what? What happened there?" But apparently Louis says he's way more familiar with Olimar. Yeah, he loves fighting Olimar. It says it's one of his favorite matchups.
Yeah, and it wasn't a fluke by any means. Like Louis Money against Nairo, like Louis Money again. I was so impressed by his Fox.
He's super good. Yeah.
I think the top player worship still very strong, even though this game is young. I always saw the name Louis Money, one because it's my name, but also because it had like a dollar sign. It's kind of funny. Yeah. I think Max pointed out if Louis Money teams with Suarez the Yoshi, that would literally be my name as a doubles team, because my name's Luis Suarez. Yeah, Louis Money popping off, and Light not popping off against Shuton. Japan not present in top 8. Japan previously at Evo being very present in top 8. I think that's product of one, a good meta. We have not only consistency within the top, but now we have like a second Fox, at that level. Larry pretty much clocked out. No signs of Larry, unfortunately. Yeah. Amazing player, amazing guy. Can't state that enough. However, I have not seen anything like this except from Light. So apart from Light, what other stories we got? What did you see in the pit? What did you want to bring up?
I mean, there's just a lot of upsets. Obviously, DeBuzz not in top 16 is a big deal.
Dude, Riddle's popping off.
Yeah, DeBuzz has been very frustrated with his play lately. Goes all the way back to Thunder Smash, barely not making top 8 at Evo. So he's got some thinking to do, because that's 3 disappointing performances in a row. I think he got second at Thunder Smash, obviously, but yeah, he got second he got third because
Wizzy got second to MBD's first. So I think he got third or fourth.
Yeah, he obviously doesn't want that after winning the first Thunder Smash. So DeBuzz, I don't know if it's the Olimar nerf thing. I don't know what it is, but he's got a lot of thinking to do. 2 Foxes in top 8 really surprised me, because I wondered if Fox had the juice to keep going, but apparently yes. 2 very different playstyles too. Meister in top 8 is wow.
Well, let's not even go into top 8, because that's a whole can of worms.
Okay.
But we're definitely going to talk about Meister. Riddle's here. Ken and Richter. Riddle's having a very iconic
Riddle should have beat Leo. I don't know what he like. So there's a point in game 5 where Riddles comes back on his last stock. Leo has Arsene for like, I don't know, maybe half meter down, and instead of sitting up there on the platform, Riddles just runs at him.
Hold forward.
Like, wait, what are you doing? Like that's that youthful exuberance or something. He didn't have to do that. He didn't have to do any of that. And Leo just punished him super hard for it, and he lost the stage. He lost stage control. He lost advantage, and then he never got it back. And a few people tweeted at me. They're like, "Well, if you hit Joker, he loses Arsene." I'm like, "Yeah, but you're not hitting Leo. if it's game 5 and he has 1 hit left, you will not hit him.
Yeah.
Like, period. You're not going to touch him. So you just wait up there, play the matchup, not the player, and that's it. So that was disappointing to see because I definitely think he could have done it.
Yeah. And another person who learned the very hard way about that, not necessarily holding forward, but just the inability to close out against Leo, Zachary. Very, very heartbreaking. Behind the scenes note, also, since Twitter fingers were flying after this set. For those who didn't know, Zachary, of course, Prodigy player, very hyped up, and I think to a good amount of justification. However, the next Leo, maybe not yet, because Zachary has not done as well as his Genesis performance as assuredly. I mean, he's gotten, it's not like he comes to any tournament and gets top 8. I mean, he gets pretty much, he's in the running for it. But Zachary, he's still got stuff to prove. But obviously, a lot of people hyped him up the next Leo, all that. But in this set, of course, as the story goes, first off, Rob Popoff, Rafi X was another person with Rob to really do it, which was insane because he's like a New Englander, pretty B-list sort of player. No offense meant there. It's just how it's been. I mean, he hasn't ever been ranked. He's never been Area 51, I don't believe. But he always gets like 3rd, 4th, 5th in the...
he's known as a Wi-Fi guy.
Yeah, Wi-Fi guy, but in the New England PR, he's up there, right? But Light and Mars and Matty G usually took a lot of the spotlight. But in this set, as you'll see here in a second, Zachary loses, and the camera stays on him. And a lot of people had a lot of feelings about that, saying it's not cool, bro. Like, let the guy lose in peace. Believe it or not, not naming any names, but like the camera person was unaware of who was Zachary, who was MKLeo, which you might think like, how could that be? And it's like, listen, production is a wild beast, so you're not going to know everyone at the same time. So when that happened, it almost ambiguously appeared like he won because, like, if you just beat Leo game 5, you would likely maybe collapse, right, or just be like, oh my god. So in this case, he did not win, and he collapsed, and that collapse wasn't like, like when someone's like crying or laughing and you can't tell which one it is?
Yeah.
It was that. And so the camera stayed on him, and people got in their feelings about it, saying, oh, you can't, give him some privacy. And it's like, also, it was cool to see, not cool, but like it was important, right? Zachary really wanted it. He was so close. I mean, right here, 99 to 140, 100, and he barely couldn't clutch it.
I mean, even if it was sitting on him, it did last a little long, but like you need that. Like, that's in compilations, and that connects to people. It can't always be winning. You know what I mean? Like, the whole entirety of what we do, if you want the esports stuff, you got to take that too, because there are high stakes.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, that's just as much a part of it as anything else. And on top of that, it's also the video. It's like production's job to capture those moments. Like, that's a big deal. So. Yeah,
and I think too, like, with that, it's not like the cameraman was right there, like being a jerk. Yeah. Production, with all their magical lenses, I mean, the guy was kind of far. I mean, it was a few feet away. The stage, obviously, as you can see, has like many, many people on it. So yeah, I mean, that kind of happened. And, for people that were unaware, I mean, it's just like, it's not a production gaffe more so than it is just like raw emotion. And you catch the winners, you catch the losers. Yeah, I think those are most of the surprises, mentioning Rafi, mentioning everybody. Anything else you want to mention before we get into top 8, which is like probably the meatiest part of today's episode?
No, I guess not really. One of the things that I was mentioning there about closing out against Leo, it's kind of funny because what I was just saying about Riddles, Nairo kind of did the same thing, and I talked to him after, because during one of the games where Nairo looked like he was poised to take it, he took a hit from Leo that ended up killing him with Arsene, and it had this much meter left. Like a sliver. If he didn't hit that forward air, I think it was, I could be wrong, but if he didn't hit that hit, like, Nairo, Arsene would have been gone, and I don't know if Nairo would have won, but it would have been much easier for him to win. So that was heartbreaking. And I guess we can't go with, like, I don't know what there is to say about Leffen versus Salem. fun to watch.
Oh my god.
One of the most exciting sets of the tournament, obviously. Huge crowd, but like, what can you say about that? That's just,
I liked it. I think it was good story building. It's so funny because this community, it's by and large, I say it time and time again. The Smash community is the most overreactive community in the entire FGC. That comes with its positives and negatives. When something happens, that's hype. It goes and spreads like wildfire. When something happens, that's cringe. It also spreads like wildfire on both sides. People being hype about it, people being shameful about it, saying like, "Oh, you shouldn't be happy about this, that, and the other." But when it comes to rivalries, Ultimate's been. So we got like the top four. I think what's really cool is that the top four again has ended up top four at these S tiers.
Yes.
Samsora, Mars, Tweak, and Leo. The Leo Tweak rivalry is definitely there. I think Evo cemented that, but there's not a lot of engagement outside of bracket. Like, I don't think I've even seen Leo really start to talk any sort of, talk that talk at anybody until recently, where he's saying like, I guess people hate me for playing Joker, but he's pretty non-committal about it. But we don't have a Hungrybox left, that's for sure. They have started shaking hands recently, which the win at SmashCon was pretty iconic.
I lost $20 on that. I had HBox resetting against Leffen because like he always resets. But
in winners though, it did not look that way.
No, it did not look easy. But I was like, okay, it's HBox. He'll
Clutchbox.
He'll always reset. He might not win the whole thing, but I feel like he'll reset. And he didn't even get close. Didn't even take a game, which is crazy. That doesn't happen. Yeah,
that's kind of a little bit of a not super talked about thing, but that's Melee. But yeah, so not really Salem kind of obviously, I wouldn't say dug his own grave, but he kind of made his position clear. Years of research, the whole thing, and even won a Smash for Saltiest Moment. But this was finally the time they got to play. Since then, I think that every time after that moment, they were supposed to meet in bracket, either Salem for whatever reason didn't make it, or Leffen dropped out for Melee.
Right.
So that was incredible to see. The Hero Game 3 was all sorts of jank. Not necessarily cheese pick, but it was the possibility for a lot of cheese. The snooze was hilarious to see. If it would have happened, it would have been, I don't know. It would have been, what do you think would have happened if he won?
He might have been trying to push Leffen off the edge. Because, we know that Leffen doesn't like the character. Not that he thinks it's totally broken, but he just doesn't like the RNG.
Not fit for competitive play.
Right. He might have been being a little cheeky on that. But regardless, it doesn't matter because Leffen got the win. So yeah. It was a fun set to watch, but it's definitely more of a spectacle than it is a top level. I don't know. People just wanted to see a grudge match.
Yeah. Double like an SD and early death. It was exciting, but that'll continue. Hopefully, I don't know. Maybe Salem does have a hero. I know that Ryuga and Salem, and I want to say there was a third hero in bracket, but I didn't hear much about it. But getting into top 8 now, one of the players I really want to talk about, that's going to be Meister. Meister absent from the first PGR. Game & Watch from Mexico, of course, being really iconic for literally winning Combo Breaker over ESAM and MVD 10 times now. Game & Watch, what do we think about Game & Watch right now? Because kind of nutty, TBH.
Somebody said that Game & Watch was giving them PM vibes. I don't really think that's the case. I think Game & Watch is
And what do you mean by PM vibes? Because some people...
in PM, Game & Watch was so strong by sort of abusing what he had. He was overtuned in a lot of ways. You just constantly put out hitboxes. If you're ever in trouble, you just up B, and somebody watched. And he was very strong for it. And there's that whole thing where okay, if you're a B level player, Game & Watch will make you an A level player in PM because so there are all these problems.
Every button was a good button.
Right. Yeah. So.
Yeah, that new fair. I don't know about that. I don't know about all that.
Well, that's the thing. Is it like I think that Ultimate Game & Watch isn't there, but I do think he's like 4 moves masquerading as an entire character. Like, it's like when the little rascals would like stack up on top of each other, and then I'm a grown man, I'm applying for a loan. That's what Game & Watch feels like to me, except he's like down smash, back air, neutral air, up throw, and then the head is up B. And that's it. Like, but he's got other, obviously Chef is good, Jab is good, but like you can just play an entire neutral game around his strongest tools.
Yeah.
And I think that if you don't know what you're doing against the character, you get blown up. I think that's what happened to Light. Light just had no idea. I actually caught him in the hotel after the tournament. He said, "What do I do against Game & Watch?" And we had to tell him, like, and I don't know if this is true. This is how I've always perceived it, and somebody else backed me up on it. A good player, I think it was Wizzy or somebody was also there, but I was like, okay, you don't hit Game & Watch 3 times. You have to 2-piece him. It's boom, boom.
Because of the up B.
What are you going to do? Yeah, because the up B, and then your combo is his combo. So you go boom, boom, wait. He's going to up B. Then you wait. He's probably going to key, and then you hit him. So he's very staccato. Like It
reminds me of like a Luigi-esque sort of play because Nair was always a threat.
Right.
I think it still is in Smash 4. I know that they tuned him down, obviously, and I know that they even tuned Game Watch down from up smash. I mean, that move was so toxic.
But they gave him the down smash berry, which is like
yeah. But the up smash being invulnerable and also how it was just awful. So Meister previously, Smash Factor, I don't think he beat Leo.
I don't think so.
Or maybe he went to game 5 and that was hype. Meister, of course, being in Mexico, he's going to have a lot of interface with Leo. Same thing with Javi, players like that. And in situations like that, it's always important to remember, like, if you get to play Leo a lot, like, eventually, due to variance, like, you might take that set. However, what changes is then when you go to a big tournament, when Leo does as well, how you do there. And typically, Meister has been a top 32 presence, I'm going to pretty much chalk it up to, but this is the first time he's really shown what he's got in a top 8 setting, and an S tier. So congrats to Meister. Pretty much blew up Light. There were some key moments here on this Lilat match as well where he 2-framed with a down smash, and I was like, that's unfair.
That was nuts.
2-framing will be like a staple. If you don't have that down, I don't think you can be competitive, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we saw it. That's how Light beat Zachary. He 2-framed him 3 times in a row.
So beautiful with down smash too. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's not an easy thing to do. So.
So other parts of top 8 I want to talk about, and you can add in whatever you'd like. Nairo is one of the people who, obviously, this game, this iteration, didn't have the immediate he is a top 10 player. He got ranked and everything is top 10, but Zero Suit was a challenge and a difference. Palutena kind of supplementing, but Nairo's won the last 2 Smash Cons. So this is, in a sense, his tournament, kind of like how, like Genesis is Armadas or Mangoes or whatever.
Right.
Seeing him perform well again was hype, and also seeing him use Zero Suit against was hype. Any particular thoughts on how you saw Nairo do, considering that, this is very healthy that he got top 8 here, because he definitely didn't at EVO.
Like I said, I thought he could have beaten Leo. I don't want to go as far as to say he should have, but if he just stopped for like half a second, took a deep breath, he might have done it. And he knows that. He realizes that.
Hindsight 2020.
I think this is going to be very good for a lot of players, because they'll be able to, I don't know, a lot of people are kind of harassing him and telling him to get off Palutena, but I think that they can now see that Palutena can do it. She can do big stuff, even on the big stage, even against the best in the world. So maybe he'll stick with that, maybe not. We did see him play Joker. It didn't look especially strong, but like he said that was, one of his first times. Not exactly first time, but like he's still very early on with Joker. So I don't know. We'll see if he wants to keep going with Palutena or if he's going to switch it up.
Yeah. With that being said, though, like I think the success that he had with Zero Suit is going to like get more people to obviously ask for it. However, I think still dominantly speaking, it's going to be Mars at the helm. Mars and Nairo duped it out. They even had a ZSS Ditto. Did not work out for Nairo. And, you know, what we're starting to see, like, yeah, I mean, Mars has the character figured out. Nairo, I mean, it's also hard because it's a Ditto, so it's still not, that's just the Ditto, right? Not the character itself, because he did obviously blow up Fatality. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, very interesting. You know, a year ago today, I wouldn't have said like, yeah, Mars is going to be the Zero Student Ultimate we're going to look forward to. I would have definitely put my money on Nairo, but we see here that he just popped off, you know, against Nairo. So great to see him in top 8. Great to see him succeed. Nairo Nation, of course, taking one. You know, for the trophy case, at least, like top 8 is where Nairo should be. First is where he wants to be. But yeah, the talk of the entire tournament, though, apart from grand finals, is this Tweak and MKLeo special. Which, can you tell us about that? Because, like, dude, this is, I don't want to see this again.
Yeah, when you go, so if you go into the VOD, myself and EE talk about it, because when Tweak is up 2-0, you feel this uncomfortable tingle in the air. It's palpable. It's
the narrator moment, and now he loses.
There's something eerie happening here. It's like a wind that is just swept through the arena.
The X-Files sound.
And then Leo did it, and I wondered at the time, and I still kind of feel this way. So I got to commentate a set between Puppe and Kept. And Puppe goes up 2-0, and then Kept is like, he really likes Charizard. So he plays explicitly to stop Charizard. He's like, okay, every time Charizard is out, I'm either going to murder him or I'm going to force him to switch. And Puppe had no answers. Puppe got 3-stocked game 5.
Yeah, and Kept being a Japanese villager who really popped off.
So it's like, and there, I felt like watching it in real time, and you know, when you go back and analyze it, you can see more. But when I was watching it in real time, it looked like Leo did not have a way around Squirtle. Like Squirtle was just getting
Tweak
in.
Squirtle is insane.
Yeah, Squirtle is his best. He says, just he didn't have a way around it. It just would rack up 70% for free, and then just constantly hit him and set him up for a Charizard KO. And it just racked up so much damage for free. But the problem is, I think Leo figured out, okay, he really likes Squirtle, let me get away from that. And the problem with really liking Squirtle is that the longer you're on Squirtle, the more risky it becomes. Because if you take 70, 80, 90 on Squirtle, but you still want that mobility, you still want those hits, you still want that 50% off grab, the more stubborn you get with that, the further and further behind you put yourself.
Yeah, it very much gives me Sheik vibes. Obviously, Squirtle has way more dependable kill setups, but the aspect of like getting raged out, you know, definitely always a threat.
And I mean, like, you're just taking more and more percent, and eventually you're going to have to switch into something that's a little bit more consistent. Mm-hmm. But Leo, like, game 4 was very close. Game 3 was Leo's. Game 4 was very close, but Leo wins. And game 5 was not close at all, if I remember correctly. Leo just just totally ran out of steam.
And similar to Zero, I think at this point we can say the longer the set goes against Leo,
yes,
the worse it's going to be. And the last game before the set is over, which is going to be if it's 2 out of 3, if it's game 3, or sorry, if it's game 2, right? If it's 2 out of 3, yeah. If I'm up.
Game 4 was a 3-stock. Okay, I'm getting them switched then. Game 4 and game 5 were.
Yeah. Usually though, in these situations, if it's game 3 and you're about to 3-0 Leo, that's the last possible. That's your best case scenario for beating Leo. If it's game 4 and you're up 2-1 on Leo, then that's not going to work. But if it's game 3 and you're 2-0 on Leo, that's like the last chance before the shop closes. And once you get a reset, it's over. Like, you might as well just it's done. And so
Leo is very much just a multi-form boss fight.
Yeah, download complete.
It's some Dark Souls stuff. Like you beat the first form, and then
the music gets factor.
Yeah, and the second form is slightly different. Like everything's the same, but the timings are slightly off, and because of that, you're dodging at the wrong times. And it's there's a fight in Dark Souls 3 with 3 forms, and it's just I see it, I watch it happen. I forget what the fight is, but it's the dude with the bucket of fire and the woman with the soul stuff. It's like fighting that, just 3 forms of this shit. And it's always changing, and your timings are all off, and he's learning new stuff. It's nuts. I don't know. Like, I said it before, and I still feel this way. I've never seen anything quite like what Leo is doing. Obviously, you have the 52 tournament streak, whatever. You have all this stuff, but I've never seen somebody as cold as Leo being able to do what he does. Like when you're fighting Zero, you know, it's a 2-stock game. You can come back at any point. Zero is obviously like it's difficult to keep him down, but Leo will have his feet to the flames. Like he's right there. He's gripping on by a pinky, and then he'll be like, okay, well, I got it now. And there's no emotion. There's no pop off. There's no visible frustration. There's nothing you can hang on to. It's just blank. Yeah. It's unlike anything I've seen in Smash.
Not necessarily a hot take, but I think the best way to look at it is that Zero was better at walling out and overcoming his opponents with endurance. I mean, his ledge trapping was very, very oppressive and insane, especially when he used Sheik. But especially with Diddy, it was just like very hard to get back. However, Leo, I think, is the better player at winning. Leo's win conditions change. Zero's were pretty much very... I mean, obviously Zero's not like flowcharty, but like there were very key things that Zero would look for, you know, almost to say like, of course there was banana, there was down tilt, and of course like Leo, obviously very visibly with Joker, he has the whole drag down up air into down smash, especially doing that on platforms. However, Leo wins in like such a different variety of ways that it always keeps his option open to win, and I think he's just better at winning, whereas Zero had sometimes these obstacles, and I haven't seen anybody make Leo, aside from maybe Mars at Smash Factor, but even then I think that was just like Mars's momentum at peak. No one's ever made Leo look like a random. And while no one's done the same for Zero, there was that like Gommel M2K set. Leo's just adaptation is more insane, I feel.
I think Samsora, the first set that they had in Winners Finals, he did.
My God.
He was amazing. Like he played that perfectly in Winners Finals.
That's like, a heartbreaker.
And it's fun to watch it sort of happen in real time where people are figuring out Arsene, and I feel like it's going to keep getting figured out. But I think the main reason for what you're talking about is just Arsene and the fluidity of like, is he here? Is he not? Is Leo going to go for a Joker specific kill? Does he have to wait for Arsene? I think there's he has a lot of options available to him.
He gets it. He gets it whenever, you know, like limit, no limit, cross slash, no cross slash. In this case, Arsene, no Arsene. The Samsora set was definitely a heartbreaker. Sam definitely wanted it. Sam got to 2-0 or 2-1 rather. Mm-hmm. And he couldn't clutch it. He did it with Peach especially, which I don't think this is Peach's matchup by far. So he was literally taking the maximum he could from this and applying it. However, talk about Leo this weekend and talk about Joker. I don't think... How do you feel? Because obviously commentating, obviously seeing it, like I think Arsene this weekend was a little bit more unpopular than usual. Reason being that Samsora and Tweak were, in a sense, from some perspectives, robbed. There were 2 key moments for me that I felt were a little uncanny and gave me a little bit more of the party game vibe than usual.
There's one that's burned in my memory.
Well, which one's yours?
Joker on the left side off stage.
Nairo?
Knocked by... No, well, that's one of them where he got the Arsene
After the edge guard, and it was a 0 to death, and it would have been, if that was Donkey Kong, he would have been dead. If that was Samus, he would have been dead. If it was Yoshi, he would have been dead. But
Arsene right then.
Arsene.
That seems sort of similar to like Cloud getting limit. Not that it's okay, but it seems sort of like Cloud getting limit at the last moment. But the bigger one was, and I don't know why I never saw it like this or why it's burned in my memory, because like I feel like it's probably static and it's the same every time. But Leo Rebels guarded a peach turnip when he was off stage. It was deep off stage. And it gave him about 70% Arsene, and I'd never seen that before. I knew that it gave him some, and it wasn't a Stitch. It might have been a dot eye. It might have been something a little bit stronger.
But definitely not a Stitch and definitely not a normal.
Definitely not a Stitch face, and it definitely gave him 70% Arsene. I can try to find the clip, but it blew my mind because I knew that gave him stuff, but I didn't... like, part of me wonders if there are other factors because I've never seen it that much. Maybe he just never hit him. Maybe it's a distance thing. Like, I don't know what in that moment gave him that much meter.
The game clock, who knows?
It was just, it blew my mind, and I remember thinking, like, Jesus, that's insane. It just that in particular, and like to answer your question, I think the fact that there were no other Jokers in
not even close.
There were no Jokers in Evo Top 32, and I think there are no Jokers in Top 16 here because Lemon was the next highest. And I think he got 17th, the Joker from Canada.
Wow.
Yeah, Joker is not... I don't know, man. I think Arsene's dumb, but I don't think Joker is worth looking at right now. Because, like, we have multiple Peaches at the top level. We have multiple Foxes now at the top level. Pokemon trainers everywhere. I don't see why one Joker that's winning... And, like, winning in a way that doesn't... Like, Arsene's crazy, but it's not like Leo is unbeatable, and I think we keep seeing that. Like, he's getting closer and closer to being figured out. It's just, he's always got another level.
Yeah, I'm looking at stuff here, and this is very... It's hard. Is Joker a problem? No. Is Leo a problem? Also no, because he... Like, the way in which he won, right? Not necessarily cheating out his opponent, but like Leo has been the first person to figure out how to reliably get and keep Arsene. Camp him out. Sam did start to stall. You could see some floating that would occur off stage. You would see, etc.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Other Jokers might be put at bay, discouraged. Leo would find different ways, especially with that goddamn hook. I mean, it was really so violent, and guns.
He was really impressive on... Samsara was impressive in that he didn't just camp. He, like, sat in the corner with a turnip, but, like, he would still take his opportunities when they presented himself. He wasn't, like, committed to waiting out the Arsene, which I think was perfect. I think he played that masterfully.
Yeah. And so you look at it, and you're like, where is this potential vitriol coming from? And I think it is just undoubtedly the what Joker receives after Arsene. And on paper, it is wild. In practice, it's a little disjointed for many people, unless you're Leo. And so with that being said, like, the components of a character being borked or broken, however you want to put it, is high power, low risk, and easy to use. I think currently Joker's lacking the last part of that trifecta, which is easy to use. You pick up Joker, he doesn't have DLC hitboxes until Arsene, but he is not necessarily so straightforward as to, like, Bayonetta or Cloud, where, like, their win buttons were very oppressive. Cloud's Nair, Cloud's Limit Cross Slash, Cloud's Up Air, Bayonetta's Witch Twist, Bayonetta's Witch Time, Bayonetta's ABK. Bayonetta's pretty much down till everything, right? And the hitboxes were so generous and also so large that they're pretty much like, there was no quote-unquote precision really required, and not even really putting Bayonetta's on blast. But even though Lima, Mistake, and Zach did insane stuff at the top level and kept it there were people replicating similar stuff at locals, albeit very much less polished. but still sort of the same. With Joker, I'm not seeing that anywhere. I'm not seeing top 8 graphics in Europe with Joker. I'm not seeing top 8 graphics in Tri-State with Joker. I'm not seeing top 8 graphics for locals in any city just being Joker, 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 Joker. There might be some Joker specialists, but it's not a Diddy, it's not a Bayo, and it's not a Cloud, which people would pick up. Not Bayo more so, except for Tweak and Leo. But many people picked up Cloud, and that should not be the case. You should not be able to do that, and Cloud was a problem, so much so in doubles. And in the meta itself, that, like, invalidation also as well. Invalidating is very subjective. I think Joker can be very impressive. Invalidating, I think it needs to be very situational dependent. But like, if you were Donkey Kong against Cloud, you're done. Like, you have no in. Reverse Nair, Rar Nair was, what do you do? Like, what do you do? If you were Kirby, that's it. And I think right now, like, those characters going up against Joker, Game & Watch was doing it, ZSS has been doing it, Peach has been doing it. Like, there's definitely several answers.
He's fine.
It is hard though, because, you know, for someone who's watching this potentially as a spectator, okay, this guy's behind, okay, what's this thing flying behind him, and why did he just do 37 damage off of 2 aerials? Sheik wishes. Like, you know. But no ban, no anything, no nothing. Hero, similarly, this was the tournament was first legal. Coney, we see anything really happen aside from that snooze on left? And I think Zach, either through a meme or not, Zachary thwacked someone in pools. I heard reports about that.
He thwacked the Pokemon trainers, so people thought Zachary was the guy that went to losers, but no. It was the opposite. Zachary was playing Hero. No, nobody really popped off. Salem played Hero in a few early sets and won. And
I didn't hear anything about Ryuga either.
Yeah, Ryuga did some stuff. I mean, like, I said myself that I saw Hero getting, like, no heroes in top 96. Maybe that was a little bit too high, but I was like, this character is not gonna. No, this character's not gonna pop. Not at that level.
Yeah.
I think
some cheese, but
yeah, I mean, there's some. He's gonna make an upset at some point. Like, a Hero player is going to beat Mars or Leo or Tweak or something, and it's gonna be like, oh my god, I can't believe they lost to Hero, but like, they've lost to other characters. They've lost to plenty of characters. So like, yeah, that'll happen at some point. I'm positive, but I don't think the character has the stuff.
Yeah, I think that, like, seeing in training mode or seeing in a Twitch clip or maybe even a Japanese clip, Hero supersizing and using Magic Blast and covering most, if not all, of, like, Gower planes, like, is uncanny, but, like, you're not going to get that in a last hit situation. And if you do, that's one. That's one. You earned it. You're hard. That's one instance of one piece of jank that does not make for a top 8 entrance. So Hero was fine. Joker, I think if Leo keeps winning with him, I mean, it'll be whatever he wins with. I mean, he was winning with Ike. You know, no one was touching him with Ike. I think
everybody thought Lucina was the best character in the game, and then he stopped. And then everybody thought Ike was the best character in the game. Like, he is the best player in the world. Oh my god, that actually will never stop making me mad. I think that Leo is the best player in the world, and I think it's uncontested. And I think because of that, I don't know how you can look at that and be like, oh, it's just Joker, so lame. Like, the way that he plays is elegant. Like, it's just, he has such a unique play style that's just nobody else can replicate. And I think he deserves it.
Yeah, he had a very expert use of dash that I was noticing a lot. He was dashing under a lot of Samsora's things. And you never really think about it. You think like rolling or whatever, but the low profile dash, the Marth Melee-esque dash is very, very useful.
I would rather he be untouched than he get Pichu'd. Like, I would rather he exist as he exists now than he gets sort of thrown. Because, like, Pichu's apparent. I haven't fought a single Pichu since he got nerfed. Some people say he's still fine. Some people say he's unplayable. The top level players say it's not worth it.
My god.
Yeah, well, I mean, the top level players say it's not worth it at all. You're talking about Nakat and Void and them. They say it's not. Why would we do that?
Not viable, like, maybe.
Yeah, like what's the point?
Mhm.
I would rather Joker stay as he is now and people like figure out Leo.
Force the
'Cause I think,
adaptation, yeah.
yeah, I want to see that happen instead of he just gets nerfed. Leo picks up I don't know.
Banjo.
Yeah, exactly. Like Leo is the best player. He's done it with 3 different characters now. Just I think it's stupid to blame it all on the character at this point.
Oh, undoubtedly. And Leo, bias aside, I mean, and the results speak for itself. I think like what really sums it up, and before we end here, is that Leo's use of Joker is so chameleon-like and so based on the situation that a lot of the characters beforehand that we've seen, like, and maybe even in some other games, although Melee's a little bit of an exaggeration since things are so optimized. At least when I played Sheik in Smash 4, like, your game plan was essentially the same as an oppressive top tier. Like, I'm just going to do my thing, and you're not going to be able to play. Joker isn't necessarily like that because, obviously, the new engine, how he functions. But Leo showed that, like, the adaptation coupled with the power level is, like, what makes his play so trademark. Just like with Zero Suit in the old game. I mean, when you got Rage, it was time, right? It was time. It was showtime. You had 140 on Sheik. She's at 10. This is it. But Leo didn't really ever, like, aside from the drag down upper, which is such a good confirm, his use of up tilt this time was insane. His use of down tilt this time was insane. And I heard a lot of people talking in terms of storylines that, like, it's getting closer. But that's, I think, the fascinating part, and the thing we need to focus on in this ultimate storyline right now is that it's getting closer each time with Leo, but somehow he changes it up again. Samsor was going
to a different level.
Yeah, it's like, you know, anime reference. It's like the DBZ, like Super Saiyan 1, oh my god, unstoppable, then get crushed by whatever villain, then Super Saiyan 2, and then whatever. And I think what's crazy is that Samsora went from saying that Joker was, in his own words, like, unwinnable. He was just saying, like, I give up, sort of, you know, like, he was joking, but he was just like, I can't figure it out, to almost taking SmashCon over Leo on the biggest stage possible at the time. Other players are also getting pushed. I think if he got Pichu'd, then we wouldn't have seen this, and it would have just been like, oh, well, the game artificially put an anchor on Joker. Now that's the end of Joker. We're done. Good night. Yeah. And then we never see Sam learning. We never see Mars learning. I mean, Mars did it at Smash Factor, so it's possible. It's just Leo's king, dude, and it's just how it is. So
yeah.
One with that, you want to take a couple questions, maybe 2, 3? Keep it tight.
Sure.
All right. So thanks everyone for tuning in. For SmashCenter, like I said, the Evo episode, we're going to recover it. I'm going to do a little thing here after, edit a voiceover that a lot of you, I think, will enjoy. But for right now, tag us in the chat with any sort of questions that you have. We're going to keep it light and take maybe 2 to 3, depending. So just tag us with @Panda Global, and we'll answer your questions. And if it's spicy enough, maybe it'll get us going. But for right now, chat, send us your questions. I do want to say, for everybody who's watching, second season, obviously, of the PGRU is live. The first season, the whole top 50 is now out. So if you haven't seen that, I don't know how you missed it. But top 4 of the PGRU, Leo, Tweak, Mars, and Samsara all ended in top 4. Not even top 8 or top 16, but top 4 of SmashCon. So that's what we got. Any other words you want to say, Coney, before we take these questions?
Not really. SmashCon was super great. I think it's good to see Mars kind of return to form, because a lot of people were worried about, 13th at Evo, but I think those anomalies are going to happen no matter what.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Shine, which I guess is the next big thing.
Yeah, not this weekend, but the next.
Yeah, I don't know anything big happening this weekend. I'm sure there are regionals, but yeah.
Cool. So we got a couple questions here. We're going to start with Grove Aether, saying, kind of global. Do you see certain players picking up a weird secondary to deal with Leo's Joker? Look at people like Mars and such who have a character pool. I don't know if the Falcon was working. I don't know if the Falcon was working. The issue, though, is that if you pick... I don't know how you would counterpick Leo, because he has other characters. He's not a Joker solo. He's just been using Joker exclusively, but unlike maybe someone like Nairo, who you know is going to use Palutena and maybe ZSS, Leo could pull Ike, Lucina, Joker, or maybe Isabel if he really wanted to. Do you see any character countering Joker though in particular, Coney?
I mean, I think more players are just going to do what Sam Sora did and just buckle it down and try to learn the matchup. And he almost had it. In terms of beating
so
Joker
close.
specifically, I don't know what you can... I'm trying to think of what you could pull against Joker, like to have that, one single thing that'll shut him down. I think it has more to do with stages, if I'm being honest. And I think because everybody's letting Leo go to PS2, and everybody's letting him get dragged down up smash.
But he bans FD.
Right. Well, usually, but Sam Sora took him to FD a couple times, I think.
Okay.
I think there are other places like
And drag down up air also works on FD, which is the really crazy part.
You can do drag down smash too.
Yeah.
But my point is that he loves PS2, as we've seen with all of his other characters. It might have more to do with stages than characters, because I don't know if you want to get into a counter pick war with Leo. I don't know if you're going to win that in the end. And taking any time away from practicing your main might be a mistake. So I'm not a top
Good
player.
point.
I can't tell them what to do. That feels like a losing battle.
Yeah, it's like you might get a game and you might be able to change up his momentum, but the way that Leo's built, it's very difficult to see him sweat or make him sweat. So we might see something. I mean, Nairo pulled out Joker, very short-lived. But in general, Joker to Joker, maybe. But I mean, it's playing Joker's just not going to win you the game. So I don't see it happening. I think Mars has done it with Zero Suit and Sam has done it with Peach. Closing it out is just a different deal.
Right.
And Tweak has done it with Trainer, right? So it's not like it's not possible. It's just that it needs to be from start to finish literal perfection, because Leo doesn't mess up. No misinputs, no bad DI. He's literally. I mean,
You remember he did SD. We'd never seen that. He SD'd against Sam Sora. That blew our minds.
And he SD'd against Mars in the last stock of Smash Factor. But let me just say it happens the least with Leo compared to every other top player. Okay? But yeah, I don't see counter pick wars. Really quick, this is a Japanese question for you, but not really. Harvest Moon 64 says, what is the next tournament where we should expect to see a large Japanese contingent? Probably Genesis, if I'm being real. This year, we're in August now. School and work are pretty much a lock for many of the Japanese players. I mean, even players like Ken, a lot of the Japanese greats that we saw, Kirihara, they're locked up with job/uni/job and uni. So they really just this was their shot, the summer of Smash. I don't think Shine has too much, but chat can correct me if I'm wrong. Or at least in the mass that we saw at Evo and at SmashCon.
No, we're not gonna get an Evo mass. Big House will get a few, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, you'll get a Kamame, maybe a Raito, but Genesis, I think.
It's either Genesis or Frostbite.
Yeah.
Genesis.
So 2020. Next one, we'll have this be the last question, so I think it's a very good one. Blake Beats asks, why can't it be both Leo and the fact Joker has a bad design? You saw how early Mars and Simsora died at SmashCon on multiple occasions. Is an Arsene damage nerf or meter nerf really not a realistic wish for people to want?
No, I didn't say it wasn't realistic. I said Arsene's dumb.
No, I'm saying, but the common rhetoric is that it's either Leo is carried or not.
Well, people speak in extremes because Smashers are awful with nuance. This is the problem. You can't... How do I put this? The reason a lot of figureheads say one and not try to give any kind of inch is because Smashers, I'm not talking about any of you specifically, are really fucking dumb. Remember how I said that Zachary didn't take over the world, so he might not, he didn't live up to the reputation of being MKLeo and being a top 3 everywhere prodigy. He wasn't quite there yet, and then suddenly I hate Japan and I think Zachary is washed and overrated. You can't speak with nuance with a lot of these people. So the problem is, if you have to pick between Joker's broken and we need to change him, or Joker's fine, Leo is just amazing, I would err on the latter. I would err on the latter side. That said, it doesn't mean that the answer isn't in the middle. It's just that Smashers are really stupid, and if you say anything in the middle, they'll go to one or the other. This is something that I've noticed across everything. This is when you say Bayonetta is a dumb character, but you have to deal with her to play the game at a top level because it's part of the competitive metagame. Oh, she's a dumb character. That means we should ban her. Like, Smashers are very, very bad at understanding nuance.
The gray area.
I think because of that, that's what it comes down to with the Leo thing. Because I totally agree. Arsene does insane damage. I think he gets metered a little bit too fast. And maybe the design isn't great. That said, I'm not the voice of balance. I'm not the guy making the game, and I'm not the guy playing the game at the top level. I'm just watching and commentating on the game that you put in front of me. So it's not my place to say who's better than someone else. I just see the results screen. So I don't want to make that judgment call. It looks silly to me, but it also looks a little crazy when Peach can do 70% off a down tilt and then kill you with down air, forward air at the ledge. Like, I think there's a lot of dumb stuff in this game. I think that's just the nature of a competitive game.
Yeah, and the dumb stuff is obviously concentrated in the top tiers. I will say that similar to Nikita, whereas, Nikita is a little bit uncanny with what it does and how it does it, I think Joker's kit deserves a tuning, just a slight tuning. Things that would just essentially involve a numbers game and not a knockback game. So like a damage game, right? And maybe a little bit of a timer adjustment. I think that he shouldn't have a mechanics change and like lose the properties that he has, because then it will be Peach that will be having the same conversation about next patch, right? Because Peach is insane, and like, yes, it's through a combo, so her burst, like Joker has burst, right? And Peach has kind of burst as well, but hers is a little bit more sustained. It's like, down throw, and then where are they going to go? Into the back air, into the nair, into the this, into the that. It is a lot, and Yoshi doesn't have that, Link doesn't have that, Diddy doesn't have that. So it's like, of course, this is what's part of a top tier. But bad design outright, not the best design, but also, like, I think the two can exist. And I think that is the reality we're looking at. However, again, we want to talk about, like, bad design. Now you're opening up other people to their own, again, like, you're opening up a lot of things. And if we want to be even-handed, Zero Suit side B. I mean, it's a little crazy sometimes. It's a lot of coverage, right? You can modify it, so if it's going to pop them up or not, like, there's a lot to it. So, again, there's always going to be a move in the game that's going to be uncanny. And so, calling for immediate nerfs, I think, is a little bit of an overreaction, but at the same time, haters are going to hate, and there's going to be salt everywhere, whether it's going to be Leo with Mii Fighter, Leo with Ike, or Leo with Joker. I think that's just how it's going to be. So, anything else, Coney, before we close out?
No, that's just kind of how I feel too. And it sucks because, like, you want to acknowledge the truth of all of this, which is, like, Joker is crazy, but it's not really Joker, it's just Arsene. Arsene is crazy, and Arsene needs adjustments, probably. But if it comes down to Joker becoming unviable at a top level in a Pichu kind of situation, or Leo continually being brought to the brink and then showing us the best Smash Ultimate we've ever seen, I would rather see the latter, especially considering how long has Joker been out? It's not especially long. I mean, the game's, 9 months old?
July? Did it come out? Or June?
I mean, come on. I think it's June. That's like 2 months, man. Like, I just...
That's crazy that Leo's been able to do that.
Yeah, and he took a couple L's. Like, he didn't pop off a couple times, and, like, despite still being number one, it was April? Okay, that's a little bit longer then. So that's about 4 months. But still, I mean, like, let's consider the fact that Samsora's been playing Peach for a decade. Like, it's not like, I don't know. I think there are a lot of parts to this. Samsora has been playing the same character forever. Tweak is juggling 4 different characters sort of the same way that Leo is. there's a lot of stuff around it. So I would rather see Joker maintained as he is, and us just watch Leo. I'd be fine with watching Leo play this way that he's been doing. It'd be getting a little boring seeing him win over and over, but if it keeps coming to the brink and he somehow manages, you can't take that away from him. And
that's the thing too, none of these are washes. Like,
they're not unwinnable.
None of these are 3-0s and a handshake and like, okay. Like, the last top 8s for the past month of notoriety have been, oh my god. And Evo, I think, because of everything, was the best Smash we saw, and SmashCon as well is like following that trend. I think before Evo things were a little quiet because we haven't had all the PGR under one roof. We haven't had a PGR. We haven't had this pressure now, right? I mean, there definitely is a sponsor curse, and I'll tell you now, there's definitely a PGR curse because Louis Money, okay, and Meister, unranked, okay, made it to top 8. So PGR in shambles, but then at the same time, top 1 through 4 got 1 through 4. So there's something going on.
Well, let's also keep in mind that, like, I think a 3-stock game kind of, like you said, they're not washes. And then there were times in Smash 4 where, like, you know, somebody would be at 150, somebody would be at, like, a Bayonetta at 150, somebody else at 0, Bayonetta 150.
Oh, God.
I don't think Joker has done that. I think Joker can take a stock like that.
Yeah.
And I think Leo did it a couple times. But in a 3-stock game, that's way less. I think the nature of that means that it's not as... It's not as big.
Yeah, and you factor in an SD, it's like...
Yes, right.
Yeah, I can't believe we played 2-stock for so long. And I can't believe 0 and the others were so consistent with that. So, anyways, that's SmashCenter, SmashCon Edition. Stay tuned for the VOD. Stay tuned for the VOD as well for the Evo last episode. It'll be a short one. Hopefully people enjoy it. If not, we'll go back to the drawing board. But, yeah, it's been real. SmashCenter, Coney and suar. Coney, any last words before we sign off?
Nope. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you next week. I'm going to be, if for anybody, I don't know if anybody here watches my stream. I know I have some
yams,
like, some carryover. I miss streaming a lot. I'm getting back to streaming this week. I'm probably going to do Mario Maker, but I've been really missing some other games. So anyway, you can follow me at Coney on Twitch. Yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next week.
Cool. All right. So that'll be Coney. For everybody else, thank you for coming. It's been really fun getting back into this, now seeing these storylines develop and take everybody by surprise. Once again, my name is suar. If you're watching on Twitch, thank you. If you're hearing us on YouTube, thank you. We are about to finally get all of this on every popular podcasting site. My buddy Sage from Unrivaled Tournaments, now at ESA, pretty much was like, listen, you got to get this on not only SoundCloud but on everything else, just like we used to have the set count, if you remember that old podcast. And so we're working on that to do this week. I also promised to give away every episode, and now that's a meme. So I'm gonna hard code some sort of surprise in something, and if someone finds it out, then they'll get the prize. But in any case, it's SmashCenter, SmashCon Edition next week. I think we have some regional tournaments going on. I don't know. Check the TTS. You guys know the PGR better than I do. And after that is Shine. So we'll see what happens. If Leo pops off, maybe he doesn't. That's 2 S tier wins now of the highest rated possible event type that we have. So is Leo number 1 again? I mean, guys, do the math. But at the same time, like he's playing like he is. So tell someone you love them. Enjoy. SmashCenter will be on next week, hopefully on Tuesday nights. That's what we're trying to do now. Wednesday was today, just because life is getting in the way. But for everybody else, you know where to find me, PG_suar on Twitter. And yeah, tell someone you love them, have a good time, and we'll see you next week. See ya.